This is Lady Katina Tarot 333. Good morning, everyone. Um, got some channel messages for you today from past over loved ones, or just um, past over people. Um, I don't feel like being on camera. It's kind of early. I'm having my coffee and trying to get these channeled messages out, so I won't take a lot of your time up this morning. But gentleman by the name of Dan, or this might be for Dan. First of all, I'd like to say this is for entertainment purposes only. If anything triggers you, you might want to seek out professional help. Um, but yeah, here's the messages. Um, First gentleman that came through is Dan. He passed away of a heart attack. Either he was born in 81 or he was age 81. I also got the last name Wood. Um, Something about Africa or cheetah. Couch leather. I don't know. A leather couch. Maybe it was printed like a cheetah. I don't know. But I also picked up on some diamonds or diamond. Um, Diamonds. Take it how it resonates. Something being a flop. Red Devil. Two-Face. Okay, so either he said they're Two-Face or he was Two-Face. But that was all I got from that. He said, tried to tell you that somebody's Two-Face. So I got another message for Vicky, Victoria, Vincent. And that could be a first name or a last name. Valerie. She said, stand down. Wrong way. Wrong one. Something about a wooden spoon and the pot boiling over and dark times are ahead, dead. And specifically said that. And something about was it worth it, Dimples, and burn or barn. And she said that when she was said my perfume, it said you might have recently smelled it, and she might have wore Chanel number 5 or Chanel number 9, something like that. Um, Blind leading the blind. Something about a diamond choker at River Park. I don't know what that means for someone. And she loved the song Wagon Wheel. And she liked the part, Rock Me Mama. You might have called her Mama. And you liked her mac and cheese. Something about Mom's mac and cheese. And she loved Yankee Candles. So when she loved Yankee Candles. This once again. Um, Something about 210 Green Street or Green Leaf. Okay? So that might resonate with you. Mom might have had some kind of finances or something. I know Greenleaf is a financial institution or of some sort. You might want to look into that, or maybe you do. But the pot boiling over, I remember, I don't know, my daughter and I, we cook a lot. You know. But I know if you place a wooden spoon over the top of a boiling pot, it keeps it from boiling over. Good coffee this morning. Also got a Dole. Gentleman's name's Dole. Or it could have the initials CA. This gentleman passed over either colon cancer, or this might be for a Dole with the initials CA, or Colin, first or last name. But this gentleman passed over from colon cancer, or something with the colon. The number 666. I'm not sure what that might mean for someone. Something about bass. Recently I done some channeling, and somebody was treble and somebody was bass. Maybe you guys were best friends when you were growing up. But this gentleman, he loved Pink, the singer. 269 extreme. Whatever that might mean for someone. 210 Dr. Facts. Sometimes when I get the messages, they're kind of broken up, so that's why I picked up on him, and this just might resonate with you if you're listening. Also the number 3639. Something about look at it, man. On This Is Us. Looks like, that was it. Looks like man on This Is Us. So maybe you did, or you look like man, or he looks like him, or maybe a suspect, or because I do get messages from victims of violent crimes who passed over. Something about Roman architect, or the Romans, and an architect in Italy. And eternal flame. Something about the eternal flame. And gargoyles. Maybe he collected gargoyles, or you did. There also picked up on reflections and a wedding. Where I'm from, there's a reception hall, or was, and it used to be called Reflections. And they held wedding receptions and weddings maybe, and other events there. But I picked up on the name Gage and Wheat. Wheheat. Could be just wheat. You could be a farmer. They could have been a farmer. Last name Wheat. Something about framework, blueprints, and building a house. And this, when I was channeling this gentleman, it made me feel like maybe he was a father past, and maybe you're building a home. And this is just his advice for you. He said make sure the framework. Okay, I got like maybe you're looking for contractors to do certain work, and he said it came through, and he said something about the framework, blueprints, building a house, and he said only get the best. So this gentleman came through. He wants you just to only get the best materials, only get the best contractors, only get the best of the best, because, you know, I got the feeling that he wants you to make sure you've got a good home and that it's built correctly and your investment is worth the money. He said only get the best. Also, he said you might have been at Home Depot recently looking at rugs. I don't know if something might have reminded you Maybe a grandfather, maybe a father, uncle, I heard. And he said that he loved the popcorn there. LOL. Something about a weather vane for the top. So maybe you bought a weather vane, or maybe you should. But he said he was proud of you, Sonny Boy. Maybe he called you Sonny Boy when he was alive, and I just heard him chuckle. Something about Parker or Park. And I picked up on a little boy, little girl. But he says she's got, or he, I heard she, but got big hands like Dad. Maybe you said that. Maybe your child has Dad's hands. And something about the pet name Winston or Paws. Maybe a cat named Paws. Paws. And when he was alive, something about Winston and Chicago Cubs. He was a big Cubs fan. I got that when it came through. And he said, "Go Cubs, go!" And I'm a Cubs fan, so shout out to the Cubs. Maybe you went to a ball game. I just heard. Did you go watch the Cubs play, someone? Anyway, I hope that message resonates for you. Also, I got the name Stan. Last name Black, or he could be black. Also, you might look like Stedman, which is Oprah's husband. I don't know. Or maybe this gentleman did. I got purple pillows and pink curtains. Yuck. So maybe somebody decorated a room recently. Or maybe you was just trying to be funny. You said purple pillows and pink curtains. Yuck. Well, Stan passed away by colon cancer. I got a lot of colon stuff. Well, a lot of colon cancer victims, passed over loved ones that's coming in to me. So I don't know, gentlemen. I know you're supposed to, or women too, but you're supposed to keep a good eye on your colon. And I know it might be uncomfortable to go have something like that check, but you'd be glad you did in 1313 on the clock. Okay. You might also pass from stomach cancer, bladder cancer. But for Stan, or to Stan, this was an older gentleman that I picked up on. He said to tell you to check the roof. It's leaking in the attic, and he's worried about his old newspaper collection. And specifically, he said these two, Kennedy assassination clipping and the MLK assassination clipping. So maybe Dad or whoever, I don't know, this could be Stan or for Stan. Okay? Maybe it's a father figure, maybe, you took over Dad's home, or I heard mothers. He's worried about his clippings upstairs. I don't know. And those sound like they might be worth a lot of money. So, go up in the attic. Make sure Dad's clippings ain't up there getting wet. Because he's worried about that. Very specific. He said, don't burn the yard. I don't know if he was trying to be funny or he just said, don't burn the yard. Maybe you just lit a fire out. Maybe in a fire pit, because I know it's nice weather and everybody's outside. So he said, don't burn the yard. And he said something about nail windows shut. Maybe he nailed them shut, or he's telling you to nail them shut, or somebody nailed some windows shut. However that resonates for you. But also something about alligator shoes from Louisiana. And then he said, they ain't no joke. So it's just what it said, alligator shoes from Louisiana. And he said they ain't no joke. So maybe he wore them or you wore them. And he's saying they're cool. And pinky ring, Bruno Mars. I don't know. Maybe he's put your pinky finger to the moon. However that goes. Maybe this is for Bruno Mars. Who knows? But he said something about Thriller. LOL. He laughed when I always put LOL when they chuckle. And he said, do not sleep with the windows open. Are you crazy? So my mind, when I picked that up, I envisioned somebody thinking, oh, it'd be nice to sleep with the window open. Weather's just right. He said, don't do that. Are you crazy? So you might be in an area where you should not be sleeping with the windows open. Maybe I just heard you might have caught somebody looking in the window. Somebody tried to climb in the window. I don't know. Something about a window. So I hope that resonated with someone. Okay. I got the name Marcus. I got the name Nick. Patrick Wayne. Patrick, the name Wayne. And also Peach. Peach. When I hear Peach, I instantly, like most people, think of Georgia. So I said, Georgia? I said, maybe from Georgia? And he said, no, Sweet Caroline. So maybe he's from the Carolinas. Maybe when he was alive, he was from there. Said something about the name Neil or Neil Diamond. Maybe he was a Neil Diamond fan when he was alive. Also, he liked Dr. Hook. I also picked up on some doctor energy there. Maybe he was the doctor when he was alive. Or maybe he had a patch over his eye. I heard that. And then I got wasting days and wasting nights. I don't know if you're up all night and day. Maybe you've got, I just heard an addiction. Maybe you're waiting on something. I got PI6. Whatever that might mean to you. Pi 6? Pi 6. Maybe you're Pisces. Okay. I got the name Desmond and Dion. This all goes together still. Same channeling. Desmond, Dion. Weeff. Weeff. I don't know, maybe it's a last name or something. I heard Fubar. Fubar. I don't know. Something about fingerprints. And the shoulder. Somebody was shot in the left shoulder. shot downtown. And he said something about the Parker, and I picked it up as a name, but then he come back and he said it was the valet, an Uber driver maybe. He specifically gave 10/29. Maybe he was born October 29th, maybe he died on October 29th. And he said recently there was a gender reveal or a birthday party. And he was there. He wanted to tell you he was there. And he laughed and he said, another stud. So maybe you found out you're having a boy. And he said, listen to the clock tick. I don't know what that meant. No, wait. Here. It was a gender reveal and he was there and he said, another stud. So you're having a boy. Excuse me. He said, don't let mama cry. And don't let her die alone. So maybe your mother's sick. Don't let her die alone in a nursing home. And he just said Mercy. And she said Marcy. So maybe the name Marcy, but I picked up like a southern accent. Marcy. That's what I heard. Like mercy. And he wants you to tell her that Dad's by her bed. Or whoever this is by Mom's bedside. He's standing right beside her and he told you to tell her that. And maybe when you're in Mother's room visiting or whatever, that's when he said, listen to the clock tick. He listens to the clock tick. So maybe Mom's getting ready to pass. He wants you to know he's there with her. But he don't want her to pass alone. And he don't want to see her cry. So tell her that he's there with her. And that's sweet. My condolences to anyone who might be going through that. Yeah. When it's our time, it's our time. When it ain't, you know. But just know, our ancestors are there. They see everything. They know everything. We're not just walking on this earth. We ain't the first to walk on this earth. And when a person passes, there's levels to get into heaven. Like the next stage. That's why, we in the past, or when you tell somebody you want them to rest in peace, that's heaven. Actual heaven. And the next phase that when we leave this life, we stop suffering and being in pain. And if everything's right and we didn't die of violent crimes or anything like that, because if we didn't die of violent crimes or anything like that, we ascend. But if something's left unfinished, unresolved, they kind of stay in the next phase where there's no pain, there's no suffering. You can travel to places, visit loved ones, that sort of thing. When you get to heaven, all's well. But anyway, that's just my theory. Okay. I picked up on a judge. I'm picking up on a lot of old judges. This one came through and literally gave me chills. All of them do, but this one particularly, because when he was a judge, he was known for strict um, Justice, Swift Justice, he just said. And he was also known, I picked up on the name, he said Hanging Huff, Hanging Huffman, something like that. I know, okay, in a lot of courthouses, people, counties have went to having a justice system instead of holding court in older courthouses, you know, maybe restore them or what, but this is court still being held in an old courthouse. So this might resonate. And then this judge come through, the name Jack or Jackson. And I asked him his name, he said, Your Honor. So there you go. He don't pull no punches. And he said the name Jack and bribe. Jackson, bribe. Somebody was bribed. And he said if he was still alive, he'd hang him in the courthouse lawn. Or he would have hung him in the courthouse lawn years ago. And he chuckled. He specifically said chuckled. And then he said, don't worry. But he's not worried because they're gonna kill each other. Or they'll shoot each other. So I don't know if there's a dispute going on between two people. One saying one thing, one saying the other, or maybe they're blaming each other. But he said one will shoot the other one. And I hope that don't happen. Remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. Don't get your panties in a wad. This is really interesting, and you know, I pick up on a lot of things that he liked and enjoyed when they were alive. So, but he said something about an old stone fireplace in this courthouse. There used to be an old stone fireplace, and he said there's a picture of him or someone standing by a fireplace or an old stone fireplace. And you know how they'll take a judge's picture and like a headshot of them or whatever. Well, this judge didn't like that picture of him. He didn't like the headshot of him. He wanted the picture of him by the fireplace. And I picked on a very old energy with this judge. Very, very old. 1909, I'm hearing. 1930. I keep picking up on a judge from 1930s. But this judge said 1909. He said something about the fireplace was on the main floor. I know a lot of restorations happened with courthouses and stuff. Maybe one had a fireplace too. He just said on the bottom, the main floor, he said. On the main floor of this courthouse, there used to be two fireplaces. He said, and once again, Peach, Peach. Last name, first name could be, because I know I have an aunt. I think her family's name was Peach, but something about thrash. Thrashing? Thrash? I don't know. But he said warrants should be signed, sealed, and delivered. He wants you to sign, seal, and deliver. Maybe personally to someone. And he said to the current judge, listen for his whistle and his cigar smoke. And he laughed. So maybe you heard him and wanted to make his presence known to you. You might have heard him whistle. You might have smelled cigar smoke. And he said something about the smell of tobacco spit? I don't know. Maybe you smell it by wherever your hangers are. So wherever maybe you might hang your robe, you might smell nicotine of some sort or tobacco smoke. Um, and his jargon was real specific. I could tell he was very, very honorable judge. But maybe when you're by some hangers, you're going to smell cigar smoke. And that's him. Protect the innocence. Protect the innocent. He said at all costs. And he just said wooden nickel. I know what that means for me, but he said they turned a. Now this was very specific, almost like he was writing a document. But they turned a blind eye, and they knew the indecency, the ridicule, the horrific acts of inhumane treatment before the world. And then he said this, with advancement in technology, an example needs to be made of what not to do. He said hate, lust, greed, disregard for human beings, privacy, disregard for human beings, period, should not go unpunished. And then he said, furthermore, many others were violated, making us as a whole look bad. Let me see. Unpunished. Furthermore, many others were violated, making us. No, he said oaths. That just hurt him. He said, furthermore, many oaths, like an oath, were violated, making us as a whole look bad. Us meaning, I guess, you're in the justice system. .33 on the clock. I had to get at this information about this judge out, and I thought it was so cool. An old judge coming through like that to me, and I also heard a spit tune. Somebody might have a spit tune. You know how like they used to have when someone chewed tobacco. That might be sitting close to where your robes are for the day if you're presiding. Or maybe you have that in your office. I don't know. Okay. Thanks. Thank you, Judge, for coming through. Or Your Honor. He said, Your Honor. That was funny when I asked him his name. He said, Your Honor. I picked up on the name Edward, Eddie. And I picked up on fireman vibes with this gentleman. He said, stop, drop, and roll. So that's when I hear that, I instantly want to pick up on fireman vibes. But he said, yeah, he's a fireman. And Clancy. Maybe he was, I don't know, Clancy. I didn't even, maybe that's a last name. Maybe it's a town name. Or a county, Clancy. Clancey. Could have been his last or first name. Someone is a hero. He said Birdway and Campton. Campbellton. Campbell. Also, Lees. Lees. And Chops. I know a lot of firemen cook. Firemen cook. They cook a lot. So maybe you guys called him Chops. Or maybe somebody talks a lot. Chops. Or maybe he sing. Because I know when a person has a good singing voice, they say he's got good chops. The number 4141. Just together. 4141. 4,141. And something about running on empty. So maybe you forgot to put gas in the fire truck. Y'all were running on empty or something. Or somebody's running on empty. Stop, drop, and roll. Anyway, once you know he's with you, he sees you. Maybe you just recently cooked pork chops. And you were mindful about fire safety. And you thought of him. Ed, Edward, Eddie. He was cool. Okay. So I pick up on a lot of locations too when I channel. So this is, I picked up on the name Dover or Dozer. Europe, Hanover. I also picked up on Vegas. This gentleman, when he's alive, or maybe you are, or an equipment operator, maybe a truck driver, and he OD'd. Or maybe you did. Also, he said transgender. I don't know what that means, but I mean, I know what it means, but I don't know, it might mean something to you. It might resonate. And when he was alive, his CB handle was the Duke. That's what he said. He said, in Vegas, the chicks are cheap, but you pay a heavy price. I don't know, maybe somebody picked up some in Vegas they didn't need, couldn't get rid of, I don't know. But, yeah, overseas, Dozer or Dover. Anything else? Somebody might be having trouble breathing. I did get that OD'd. Maybe he OD'd when he was alive. But and once you know he's with you, sees you, he's there. Okay. I picked up on the name Barbara. Might have been called Babs when she was alive. From Wales. I picked up on Brigham. Brigham. And I might be a place or a name. British Wales, she said. And she said when she was alive, she's very regal, very sophisticated lady, I guess. Very prim, very proper. And she said she should have worn the crown. And she said, I'm so queen. Like, you know. It's, I don't know. I don't do British accents that well. No, she said, you already. Don't you know? Don't you know? I'm so queen. Like, don't you know? And she liked to talk, or this person did. Babs, Barbara. And she said, Polly, put the kettle on. Something about Baton Rouge, the French Quarter, and a maiden. Or the maiden run. So maybe you bought a new boat. Or maybe you witnessed somebody bought a new boat. She said she was there. And you shouldn't have wasted such a good bottle of wine on christening it. Christening it. Maybe maiden run. And she said, bombs away. So, Alina, the Great Britannia. She wanted to tell you just like a mother. I'm telling you, but she said, pick your feet up when you walk, son, and tuck in your shirt tail. Maybe mom always told you to keep your shirt tucked in. She wants you to know she's there with you. Oh, we got more. I forgot. Barbados in the Caribbean. And an offshore account with 2 names on it. Okay. She said something about this is important to you. This might resonate. Something about Seaside Port and Mainland Bank. That might be the name of a bank. Mainland. It might be the location in the mainland. I picked up on a green or red door. Green Jack. Whatever that means for you. Green, last name Green, and the last or first name Jack, Jack. Green Jack. Greenback. Oh, I know I've been overseas before, and I know they call Americans greenbacks, something like that. So maybe you're speaking with someone that is foreign. Also, White Shores, I picked up on bank energy there. Also, the front of the bank might have a red door on the front. White Shores, either that's the name of the account, that's the name of the bank, the county the bank's in, or the Providence or whatever they might say overseas. And also, something is backlit. Now, I don't know, it sounded like a banking term, maybe. Maybe there's an overseas account that is backlit, like there's some silent partner or something going on, maybe, and something about the name Casper and Cape Cod. 4:11 on the clock, so maybe someone was born April 11th. Casper and Cape Cod. Casper's a ghost, so maybe it's backlit. It's a fake one. Maybe there's another one. There's one fake account, and there's 2 names on it. One's fake, and one has all the money in it. One's just for show, and one's to show like a zero balance, and the other one's got all the cash in it. And green, I got that White Shores really sticks out to me in Mainland Bank. Also Casper, it could be a location like Casper, to me might signify something for you. I told you guys I've been working on young lady's case, and I don't really want to discuss what I've found, but I'll give you just a few. Anyway, that's all my messages for now. I do have a lot of other ones, but I'm just kind of sitting on this cold case because I really think I'm onto something. And a lot of details in it. So, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this message. I would just like to say a lot of people in the tarot community gets judged wrongly. You know, that's why I've always been reluctant to share my gifts with anyone. I've been gifted all my whole life, so. But when you get older, you ascend. You go within, and you'll find things out about yourself that you were distracted from. You'll discover things. You'll discover hidden talents, and you're the supreme being within yourself. But you can't if you're on drugs, if you're on meth, if you're on cocaine, any of the hard drugs. You are blocking out your gifts. Don't use 7:17 on the clock. Don't use hard drugs so you can discover who you are, who you're meant to be. I just heard. Alright, I hope these messages has resonated. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoy your day. You have wonderful cups of coffee. You meet new people and make great decisions based on integrity. Thank you. Oh, wait. This is Lady Katina Tarot 333. And I would appreciate if you'd like, share, subscribe to my channel. And I just thank you for coming here. Thanks a lot, you guys. Bye.